Hello, everybody. Hi, I'm Victoria. I'm the co-founder of SuperFastDiet, and we have a really exciting live broadcast for you today. I have the beautiful Corinne, who has lost over 20 kilos on our program, and she's going to tell you how she did it and how, although she tried every other possible diet, how this finally worked for her and why, and how easy it is to do. So thank you so much for joining us. Let me just briefly tell you why we started SuperFastDiet. And the reason why is my co-founder Jen and I had absolutely tried every single diet pretty much that you can possibly imagine. And especially after we had our children, you know, we put on weight and it was really hard to keep it off. We could lose it doing different kinds of programs, but we just couldn't keep it off. It just went back again until we discovered intermittent fasting. So you may have heard the word intermittent fasting. You may have heard people talking about 5-2, 16-8, 4-3, lean gains method. There's lots of different ways of doing intermittent fasting. We actually like to call it part-time dieting because that sounds much more friendly, and that's as easy as it is. You only have to diet part-time. So there were lots of books on intermittent fasting, but nobody really had a program to show you how to do it. So what we did is we literally traveled the world, spoke to the world's best experts in intermittent fasting, and we brought all the simplest methods together in one easy to do program, and it's called SuperFastDiet. And we've been going for a year now, and we've helped over 6,000 superfasters to get great success and to actually make it their lifestyle. So that's how we started SuperFastDiet. Now, if you're watching, please say hi, give us a like, give us a love, and this is your big opportunity to ask any question at all. Oh, we've already got people popping on. Hi, Jackie Ann. Jackie Ann's lost, I think, 35 kilos on our program. Lovely of you to be watching. And Trish, I know, hi. Trish has also lost over 30 kilos. And Angie O'Reilly. Oh, wow. They're all hopping on here today, which is fantastic. Rosemary, hi, girls. And all lost so much weight on our program. So thanks for joining in. And I'm just going to get to the next little thing here. Here we go. Sorry. So this is what we call our superhero week. And at SuperFastDiet, we've got lots of superheroes, but we've got some really special ones that we want to introduce you to over the next week. And Corinne is the beautiful lady that we are chatting to today. So let me just bring Corinne in here. She's coming in. Here she is. Da-da-da.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Oh, I can't see you. Hold on. Let me see. Sorry, a little bit technically challenged here. Here she comes. Here she comes. Sorry, it's not showing. Hey, we're on.
Hi.
Sorry about that little technical glitch there.
No problem.
So here's beautiful Corinne. And Corinne, do you just want to tell us your experience on SuperFastDiet? Give us a brief little intro.
Yeah, well, I mean, I started January last year, just before you guys launched. And I had met you and the lovely Jen chatting all things tea related. And it was niggling in my mind that intermittent fasting was definitely something that I hadn't really tried. And because like everybody else, I had tried everything, including all those ridiculous fad diets, everything. I'd done it. It was part of my DNA from, I think I started my first diet when I was 13. So it was a life of dieting. And I thought, you know, if I want to chat to you guys about all sorts of things tea related, I'm going to have a crack at this myself. There's nothing to lose. So I signed up, and it was just incredible how easy it was. So it totally changed my relationship with food. I felt like before starting, food totally controlled my life. When I was eating, when the next meal was, when the snacks were, it was all consuming. And I was a pretty healthy eater for a lot of my life, and I've known a lot about nutrition for a lot of my life, but nothing worked. You know, I was eating the right foods. I was doing the right exercise. I trained for a triathlon and lost 0 kilos. So
Oh, wow.
until I tried intermittent fasting, it is like a light bulb moment for me. And anybody who is open to intermittent fasting, I'm always in their ear about it at dinner parties and things. So it's life-changing.
Oh, that's fantastic. So let's start back at the beginning before SuperFast Diet. Where were you before you started this journey? You know, how did you feel? What was it life like beforehand?
Yeah, well, I was a size 22, and I didn't really acknowledge that to myself. And that was one of the hardest things. You know, when you guys said to me, oh, how many dress sizes have you lost? I think I stopped buying clothes at about a size 18, and I used to just squeeze into them because I refused to buy any size bigger than a size 18. But I was genuinely a size 22. And so, you know, I was tired. I have a young daughter, and it's hard graft lugging around those extra kilos. It's only now that I realize how hard it was when I pick her up, because she's about the same size now as the amount of weight that I've lost. So every time I pick her up, I think to myself, I used to carry this around every single day, and it just blows my mind.
Oh, that's so true. It really puts it into perspective. And some of our superfasters say, you know, sacks of potatoes or bags of flour. And
Yeah.
it really showed you how much extra weight you're carrying around, which is crazy.
Yeah. And look, I mean, I try not to get too hung up on the scales because they haven't been my best friend in my life. But, you know, I'm down, I think, 5 dress sizes. So you kind of get to a point where scales are a little bit irrelevant. They play with your mind a bit too much. So I try and really limit how much stepping on the scales I do and try and keep accountability in other ways. But yeah, it's chalk and cheese. That, you know, even just reaction to the temperature. I used to just feel hot and sweaty all the time, whereas that's, you know, the heat doesn't bother me as much. It's just it just changes everything.
That's fantastic. Tell us about your first week, Corinne. What was that like?
Hard. I'm not going to lie, it was hard.
No, be honest. Yeah.
It was hard and easy at the same time. The easy part was the food side of things was just off. So, you know, there's a limited number of calories that you're going to have from food, and that's it. And so I used to make a lunchbox that was kind of portioned out for the calories for that day. And then I would know that was it. So there was something about it having a finite limit for me that stopped the craving for other things or stopped going back for more. So I just portioned it out, and that made a big difference for me. These days I do clean fasts, but I've been fasting for over 12 months now, so I've built up to that. And
you're
that's
a
even easier because you don't have to worry about food at all. It's fantastic.
Yes, that's awesome. That's great. When you first started, did you have an idea of what you wanted to achieve? Did you know what your goal weight would be?
Yeah, look, I had in my mind a goal weight, but I also had in my mind a goal size, and I'm at my goal size, which is a size 12, although this dress is a size 10. I've never had a size 10 anything in my wardrobe ever.
Wow.
And that's still about 4 kilos away from my goal weight. So that's why for me, I've just given up on the scales. And I also am kind of in that mindset of giving my body time to heal because, you know, prior to starting this, when you diet from the age of 13, there's a whole lot of metabolic problems that come along with that. So I had already been diagnosed with insulin resistance. I already had fatty liver disease. I had a bunch of metabolic diseases that had, you know, they didn't happen overnight. They happened through decades of mistreatment of my body and the food that I was consuming. So I'm at the point now where I'm really happy with the size I am. You know, there's some jiggly bits, but I think I'm just
jiggly bits. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so fixated on how much I weigh. I'm more fixated on fitting into the clothes that I have got in my wardrobe and staying in the vicinity of that size 12, which feels right for me.
So you must have had to buy a whole new wardrobe. How fun was that?
I actually love op shopping. And so anyone who is on this journey, I highly recommend op shopping because you're not usually in the same size for very long. I went out and bought, I've been out, you know, I've been through every size basically. So it can be expensive. So make sure you know, economize and buy secondhand because, you know, the number of scores that I've found who brand new stuff that's got tags on, amazing, but so much fun. You know, that's the big difference for me. I used to hate going clothes shopping. And I always find myself, even now, I gravitate to the plus size section. And then it takes me quite a while until I realize, oh, that is going to be way too big. You need to go into the normal size section. And I still often find myself trying on bigger sizes, and it just, it's still taking a while to get used to.
That, I totally understand because you see yourself in your mind as bigger than you actually are, and you get a shock, don't you, when you can fit into those size 10, size 12 clothes?
It's so totally true. I had it the other way as well, though, where I would often go shopping and think, oh, that doesn't fit me. And so that, you know, that real body dysmorphia is kind of has been at both ends of the spectrum for me, both when I've been larger, but also the size I am now.
Wow. So you've gone from a size 22 to a size 10 to 12. That is amazing. Well done. That's incredible. So how different do you feel? Has your energy levels changed? What difference has it made to you?
Yeah, look, my energy levels definitely have changed. I think it's just that thing of waking up every day and not worrying about how much you weigh or how heavy you are. It really does become all-consuming, and I've spent decades of my life in that headspace. And it was really interesting for me coming into this new year, so turning from 2018 into 2019, because it was really the first year where I was where I wanted to be, and I hadn't put that, you know, New Year's resolution of lose weight on the list again to yet again fail and not achieve. And so it was such a different experience coming into this year from this perspective.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. I know exactly what you mean by that. I used to wake up in the morning, the first thing I would think is I'm fat. That's like before I'd even open my eyes. And then it's just, you know, trying to decide what to wear, what looks flattering. And it's so freeing when you finally get to a weight that you're really, really happy at and you feel great. It's exciting to get dressed in the morning, isn't it?
It really is exciting, and it just leaves your headspace free for other things. I think so much taken out of my life because I was so fixated and focused on that. And I think when you do get to a point where you have those tools and you know that they work, there's a real freedom around that. You know that you can go out and you can have a celebration, you can have the champagne, you can have the cake, and then you know how to, you know, repair the damage from that. Whereas before, what would happen to me is, you know, I'd be good. Something would come up, a birthday, a celebration of some sort, and who doesn't want to have the champagne and cake? So you do, of course. But then you beat yourself up about it so much that you just throw the whole thing out and end up binging. And, you know, this is something that people would be nodding their heads to because I know I'm not alone here.
Very
And
true.
so it's, it is nice to know, you know what, I had a blowout on the weekend. It was great. I loved every minute of it. I don't feel any guilt over it. But, I'm going to have a fast day today. And you get to a point, I think you asked me before how my first fast week was, and it was hard. But now, if I've had a weekend or some indulgence, I actually crave it. And so I think you do get to a point where your body says, okay, that's enough of that, thanks.
Yes.
Have a little bit of a fast, go easy. And you really do listen to your body a lot more. I find I listen to my body a lot more than I used to.
Yeah, definitely. We always say hashtag no guilt. You're hit the money on the head right there, because that's it. I was the same as you, Corinne. I used to, I'd be all or nothing. I'd be so good. And then I'd have an ice cream or something. And I think, well, I've stuffed it now. I might as well really enjoy it and eat the whole container. And then
totally.
I'd get stuck into everything else that was in the cupboard. Whereas with SuperFastDiet and intermittent fasting, you just think, okay, well, I just pop in a fast day tomorrow. Easy peasy. And it's no guilt, and you actually can enjoy all the foods and drinks you love and feel great about it, which is, food is one of life's great pleasures, isn't it?
Totally. And I'm such a foodie. I love good food. I love cooking. It's a joy in my life, but it gets to a point, I think, for a lot of people where it's more than just being joyful. We eat to mask feelings. We eat for, a whole bunch of reasons. And I think the thing about fasting, or this method that's been really great for me as well, is it does give you the headspace to backtrack and work out the why some of that stuff's happening. I think when you're not eating and stuffing those emotions down with food, you're forced to deal with things in a different way. And, that's hard. And it's challenging. But it's worth it, and it'll make a difference.
Fantastic. So now we're talking about your favorite method. Which method did you use, and why did you choose that method?
I've used them all, and I continue to use them all. And here's why.
Great answer.
Because sometimes you can fit in 2 fast days, sometimes you can fit in 3, sometimes you can only do 16/8. And also because my body needs a change up every now and then. If I find myself doing the same thing for too long, then I do stick at a plateau. So I started at 16/8, but I didn't have a lot of weight shift doing 16/8. Then I moved to 5/2, and I did 5/2 consistently, losing about 16 kilos doing 5/2.
Awesome.
And then I hit a fairly long plateau of about 3 months and changed my diet around a little bit. So, up until then, I was eating whatever I wanted on my feasting days, fish and chips with the family, that kind of thing. I tend to restrict that a little bit more these days, mainly because I actually have worked out how bad it makes me feel afterwards.
True.
So, having had decades of insulin resistance, for me, I've realized that carbs are not my friend as much as I love them, and that they set off a whole heap of binging triggers for me, and hunger. Find it much harder to fast if I've had too many carbs in my meals. So I tend to watch that a little bit more, and that kind of set me off onto another weight loss, bracket. And then throwing in some more extended fasts into that too, as I got into that master faster category and learnt how to extend them a little bit more, and the benefits from doing that as well. So yeah, I tried them all. I think they all work amazingly. And I think that if you're on a plateau, then try something else and see what happens. Perfect. See how your body reacts.
Perfect answer. I couldn't have scripted it better myself. That's exactly what we'd recommend. Having said that, some of our super fasters do love one method and they just stick to that one method. I know, like Lee Austin Ritter has lost over 40 kilos doing 2 days. And she just maintains that. And it's just now like a non-negotiable part of her life. She does her 2 days of fasting a week, and she's maintaining beautifully on that. So I guess it's whatever suits the individual.
and also what's happening on the inside of your body. You know, this journey is, yes, it's very much about what's happening on the outside and how fabulous we're looking, but there's a lot of stuff going on the inside, a lot of healing from, you know, carrying those extra kilos or eating in a certain way that's, you know, not ideal for our bodies. So I think don't forget too that there's work being done on the inside, and you can't necessarily see it, but sometimes it just needs a little bit of time before you hit that next shift in weight. Your body's ready to let go of some more weight.
That's so true. We actually call it the whoosh effect. Yet that the body definitely holds on at certain periods, and it's just an adjusting period for your body, and then it will release again. So it's perfectly natural part of the weight loss process.
We're so impatient though.
Yeah, we all are impatient.
I know, we put it on over years, but we expect it to come off in, you know, 2 weeks.
That's right. It's like, oh, well, I had salad for lunch today, so have I lost weight yet? So let's just restate your results, because they're so amazing. And anybody that's watching or just joined us, please feel free to ask Corinne some questions or ask me some questions. We've got some beautiful comments coming in here. Angie says, you look gorgeous, Corinne. Katie.
Thanks,
yeah, there's some lovely, lovely comments coming in, which is great. So if you're watching, here's your chance to ask a question. And even if you're not watching us live, we will check back and answer your questions after we've stopped being live as well. And also, don't forget, we've got $99 for 12 weeks at the moment. So if you'd like to get results like Corinne's, please pop onto SuperFastDiet.com and join us. And it ends end of February, which is tomorrow at midnight. So please jump on. Now's the time. You've got nothing to lose except the weight. And let's talk about your results, Corinne. And so you've gone from a 22 to a 10 to 12, which is amazing. So what sort of clothes can you now wear? How does it change how you feel?
Actually, the biggest change to clothing is wearing sleeveless tops and dresses. Never used to wear anything. I never used to wear anything that had short sleeves. And so I think fundamentally that's the biggest change, actually.
Well, you look incredible. And I know lots of people will want to know. Actually, Trish has got a question. Thanks, Trish. What exercise do you do, Corinne?
That's a very good question, Trish. Mainly because I haven't actually lost this weight doing extra exercise. I don't exercise anywhere near the recommendation. I run my own business. I have a young 5-year-old daughter. I have 4 chickens. I have a cat. I have a dog. I have a partner. So, you know what it's like fitting in the gym, and it's hard. So the most consistent exercise I do is a few laps of swimming while my daughter's doing her swimming lesson. And we just got a dog, so my incidental exercise has gone up because of the dog.
That's great. Well, that's the best thing, is you don't have to flog yourself in the gym. You still get amazing results like you've got without doing that.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to have to get my charger though. Can you talk amongst yourselves just for a moment, ladies?
Okay, we shall do that. Yeah, so if you're watching and you're thinking, maybe I'd like to try this, we'd love you to join us. And as I mentioned, it's only $99 for 12 weeks, which is half price. And then you can join us and try it for yourself and get results like Corinne and all the other super fasters. Oh, there's a link going up there. Oh, Jolene has said, wow, you look amazing. Thanks for inspiring me to keep going. Thanks, Jolene, for commenting. If you've got any other questions, just pop them in the comments and we will answer them for you. So Corinne's back again. Corinne, who just grabbed her charger. So let's get some more advice from you. Sure. If you had to summarize before and now, what would you say if you had to summarize your journey?
I think before I started, I was really fearful of starting because everything that I'd previously done had failed. And it's not a great feeling to be a failure, even though you're following the advice, you're doing what you're told, you're eating the things you're supposed to be eating, you're flogging yourself at the gym, but it's still not working. So there was an element of fear of failure. But I knew really early on that this was different because I got results so quickly. So everything I'd previously done, I would maybe shift a kilo or two, but man, was it hard work. Like, it was seriously hard work. I'd be flogging myself at the gym. I'd be eating like a bird. It was just, it was hard work. But I think in the first week I lost 2 kilos, and then the next week I lost 2 kilos again. And then after that, it, slowed down a bit, as you expect. Sure. But it was just consistent. It just kept coming off. And I was thinking to myself, surely this is going to have to stop and it's just going to creep up at some stage like it always has. But it just didn't. So I think the fear is the biggest thing that's different between then and now. Like I said to you before, if I go out and have a weekend of celebrations or, a weekend of just pure indulgence, there's that sense that I'm not afraid of going back where I was. I know I've got the tools now that actually allow me to stay where I want to be. So yeah, amazing. That's the biggest one for me.
That's great. So if you could talk to someone who's not sure about starting SuperFastDiet, what would you say to them?
Have to think about what's stopping you, I guess. And if it's fear, go easy on yourself and just give it a go, because I think it is very different to anything else. And you hear that a lot. That's why it's really hard to say it, because it's such a cliche thing. Oh, this is not like anything else you've ever tried. But it's not like anything else you've ever tried. So the risk is very low, especially at this price to join. The risk is very low. There's really nothing to lose. The support network is incredible. Second to none. I've done all the other things with meetings and blah, blah, blah. The support network through SuperFastDiet is really second to none. And so try and feel the fear and do it anyway.
Love it. That's great advice. So if you've got any other questions for Corinne, please ask them now. Or if you're watching the replay, pop them in the comments and we will answer them for you. So how long did it take you to lose your weight, to go from a size 22 to a 10 to 12?
The best part of a year. So, I see a lot of people talking about being turtles. I was definitely and still am a turtle. And I think often that's when you've carried extra weight for a long time and you've got additional weight to lose, and there's all those metabolic issues in the background. So for me, over a year.
Yeah, that's great. That's a really healthy amount of time. And we always say this is not a quick fix. Yes, you can certainly lose the weight quickly, but you will have your ups and downs and your adjustment times, and that's absolutely fine, because this is a lifestyle, it's a new way of life, and we want this to be the last diet you ever go on. Isn't that true?
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It is a mindset shift, and it is a shift in thinking this is my new way of life. I don't go back to how I was. And so, as long as you can come at it from that mindset, it sort of makes it easier. The other thing I often remind myself is it took me much longer than a year to put that level of weight on. So, I have to accept that it's probably going to take about the same to take it off.
Yes, absolutely. We've got a question here too. What do you eat on a fast day? What's a typical fast day for you?
Yeah, so today I'm doing 16-8, which is turning into 18-6, I think. What have I got for lunch? I've got 2 boiled eggs and a giant salad full of like chia seeds, pumpkin seeds, that kind of thing, with a tahini dressing. And I'll probably have something like salmon, a piece of salmon or something for dinner, and just some salad on the side. Or often I'm a vegetarian, but I eat seafood. So often make fritters of some description that work really well for me as well, and salads. And then coming into the colder weather, soups are always good, or veggie bakes, that kind of thing. But probably the last 6 months for me, I've actually done much more clean fasting. So what I eat on a fast day is nothing.
Right. Yes. That's for master fasters. Definitely. Yes. And it is lovely to give you. Yeah, you work up to that.
12 months.
So how do you stay motivated?
Look, I think motivation's an interesting one, isn't it? It kind of waxes and wanes for all of us. I don't think it's possible to be motivated 100% of the time. And it's always a bit of a dance, between the person you were and the person you've become, and what your lifestyle and your habits are now compared to what they were. And so I've had weeks or, a month or so where I haven't felt the motivation, and I have felt my eating and my fasting slipping to where I'm not comfortable. But that's happened a couple of times throughout the course of this experience for me, but it always just comes back. And I think the reason it comes back is just because it works.
Right.
You know that, okay, well, you're off the wagon, but you can get back on, and you know how to get the weight off again if you get back on the wagon, rather than previously, falling off the wagon and then feeling like, it's just not even going to happen that I'll get back on that wagon. It's too far out of reach. Whereas, it's the biggest thing is for people, there's a real barrier around fasting, and it's a psychological barrier, because we've been told that, we should be eating all the time. We should, I was eating 6 meals a day and thinking I was doing great things. For me, that's not the best solution. So, I tend to eat my meals in shorter windows now. So if I'm like today, I'm doing the 18, I'll end up doing 18-6, and I'll have, a really good, decent sized lunch, and I won't snack in the afternoon. I'll just have a really good, filling, nutritious dinner. So for me, that dropping out of snacks has been the right thing to do. And that's primarily because I have had insulin resistance. And so, that knowledge that you have the tools and the techniques to just hop back in and keep going is, it's amazing.
That's great. And has your doctor been very happy with you, with your results?
Yeah, my doctor is stoked. I've seen my doctor for the last, I think I've seen her in about 20 years. Yeah. And the last time I saw her was just before Christmas, and she said to me, "This is the healthiest I've ever seen you." So, she's talking obviously externally, but she's got the blood work and things which tell her that internally I'm the healthiest I've ever been as well. So, that's amazing, because as a young woman, my liver function tests, my all sorts of tests were not where they should have been. And that's, part and parcel of insulin resistance and having that extra weight on. So, being in a position where your doctor tells you you're doing the right thing is pretty awesome as well.
That is fantastic. Well, congratulations. We are so proud of you.
Thank you. Thanks to you guys.
Amazing what you've achieved. It's just been such a delight to watch your journey over the past year and see you transform completely, like literally like a butterfly. I mean, you always were beautiful, but you're even more amazingly beautiful now. And just the happiness and the energy that we see from you, and the fun and excitement of buying a whole new wardrobe, and best of all, the fact that your doctor's really happy with you. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today. And if you've got any more questions for Corinne, please pop them in the comments and we will answer them for you. And if you'd like to join us, we would love you to join It's only $99 at the moment for 12 whole weeks. And we actually have a 36-week program followed by master fasters. So don't think that's the end, because like Corinne, we'd love to take you on the whole journey so that you never, ever have to think about going on another horrible, boring diet ever again. This is the solution and the answer that you are looking for. And we'd love you to give it a red hot go. So join us now. It's ending tomorrow at midnight. And all you need to do is go to superfastdiet.com. So don't miss out. We'd love you to join us. So thank you so much, Corinne.
Thank you.
We'll see you again soon. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.